but now that Papa had referred to her as dearest, an endearment he rarely used, not to mention he failed to look her in the eye, Isabella feared the worst. Had someone died? One of the servants? A close relation? She pushed to her feet and gave her father her full attention. Kingston Harcourt was a former officer in the army, and always looked everyone in the eye, to the point where he frequently rendered newcomers most uncomfortable. "I can concur with that," she said, rather uncommittedly, as her mind riffled through her childhood, much of which was spent alone, or at least without her father in residence at the West Sussex Manor, during which time she often wondered if he cared about her at all. Regrettably, she'd never known her mother, who had died in childbirth. Though Isabella wasn't exactly sure if it was in her best interests to be raised by nursemaids, tutors, and governesses, while Papa was executing his duty for king and country, or if her upbringing was more aptly in Britain's best interests, arguing such a point would be senseless. The fact of the matter was, her father believed he had always acted with her welfare in mind, and there was never any use debating otherwise. Good. Good. Papa turned and stared up at the portrait of Isabella's paternal grandmother above the mantel, loudly clearing his throat. "I have decided it is time for you to marry." Suddenly rendered speechless and dry-mouthed, Isabella gaped at her father's back, her skin growing hot and clammy. Surely he misspoke. Had Papa just taken a few nips from his flask? It was a bit early for imbibing in liquor, even for him. When her father neither turned nor expounded upon his declaration, she snorted with a sardonic laugh. "Marry? Good heavens! It has been years since we broached that subject." Still, she hadn't imagined he'd just blurted out that he had decided she needed to marry. Isabella crossed her arms over her midriff and paced several steps before collapsing onto the settee. At the ripe age of 25, she was well and truly a spinster. Yes, she'd endured a London season, but had fallen quite short of the ton's expectations for the daughter of a knight. She wasn't a particularly graceful dancer. She was positively abominable at flirting, and more than once she found herself at a complete loss for words when addressed by a courtier. Oh, and yes, she had learned that when attending a ball, one did not exactly encourage a gentleman's affections when one turned and fled to the women's withdrawing-room. "It is time to seriously consider it again, my dear." Papa pulled a letter from inside his doublet and ran his fingers over the creased parchment. "I have been exchanging correspondence with a gentleman in America for some time." A stone the size of a cannonball lodged in the pit of Isabella's stomach. Or was it her throat? "About me?" she squeaked, realizing the cannonball was truly gagging her, and praying Papa had been writing to the American about the breeding of bantam chickens, or any topic that did not include her. "Indeed. His name is Mr. Arent Schuyler. He has amassed quite a fortune, and—" "And?" Isabella's palms grew moist. Perhaps it was best if her father didn't continue this discourse. "Has Mr. Schuyler come to England?" Papa tapped the missive against his palm. "No, he is in Georgia." "The state of Georgia? In America?" No, her blathering didn't exactly sound intelligent, but her father had just come into her bedchamber and told her he had decided she would marry, and then mentioned corresponding with possibly a complete stranger across the Atlantic Ocean. "That's what I've been trying to say. Mr. Schuyler is a well-respected, older gentleman who is seeking a well-mannered English wife with whom he can start a family. Did I mention he is well-to-do?" "Yes. You did say he had amassed a fortune. How, may I ask?" If Papa uttered a single word about the slave trade, she would explode. "Silver." "Oh!" Isabella folded her shaking, sweaty hands. "Oh, my!" "Quite." Papa finally met her gaze.